Gigi here, and this is Let's Build. If this is your first time, I build a LEGO set timed to different media and talk about the facts concerning the topic of the build. Today's build is the LEGO Botanicals Peace Lily versus Strange Horticulture. All footage I am using is for science, educational, and research purposes. My content is transformative and protected under fair use. All footage is time-lapse with commentary. I apologize in advance for pronouncing names and or places incorrectly. Also, forgive my voice. This is week 2 with braces. Spoilers ahead, you've been warned. Specifications of the LEGO set. Enjoy a harmonious craft project with LEGO Botanicals Peace Lily building kit for adults, which lets nature lovers create a beautiful piece of lily decor. Feel your creativity unfurl as you craft the elegant LEGO Peace Lily, which includes lilies in 3 stages of life. Discover 2 furled buds, 2 partially open flowers, and 2 in full bloom. Marvel at the lifelike LEGO flowers before discovering the fun details, including a recolored carrot for the shape of the spadix on the half-bloomed lily, and a popcorn piece at the top of the spadix of the lily in full flower. Displayed in a peach-colored plant pot, the LEGO Peace Lily becomes a gorgeous piece of flower decor that will bring a touch of tranquility to any room. A thoughtful floral gift for birthdays, housewarmings, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day. This flower building set is available in the LEGO Builder app, where budding florists can zoom, rotate, and track their progress. Set contains 474 pieces. Set measures over 12 inches high, 9.5 inches wide, and 8.5 inches deep. Peace Lily. A timeless potted classic, the peace lily is native to the rainforests of Central and South America. Its name is likely inspired by the flag-like bloom that resembles a white banner of peace. In many cultures, it carries symbolic meaning, representing prosperity and good fortune, purity and serenity. It helps absorb moisture and purify the air, not only adding a decorative feature to your indoor space, but making it healthier. While the real-life peace lily may be tricky to care for, this version will bloom for years to come. You're gonna get me. Spathiphyllum is a genus of about 60 species of monocotyledonous flowering plants in the family Araceae, native to tropical regions of the Americas and southeastern Asia. Certain species are commonly known as spathe or peace lilies. They are evergreen herbaceous perennial plants with large leaves, 12 to 65 centimeters long, and 3 to 25 centimeters broad. The flowers are produced in a spadix, surrounded by a 10 to 30 centimeter long white, yellowish, or greenish spathe. The plant does not require large amounts of light or water to survive. It is most often grown as a houseplant. However, it can withstand the elements well enough to thrive when planted outdoors in hot and humid environments. To prevent me from cutting my lips on my braces, I will be simply referring to these plants as peace lilies. Peace lily is a genus of herbaceous evergreen plants with dark green foliage that can reach 1 to 6 feet in height. Rosettes of glossy, dark green leaves emerge directly from a low-lying or underground creeping stem. The leaves are elliptical or lanceolate, 4 to 25 inches long or 1 to 10 inches wide. They are supported on shoots of shorter or similar length to the leaf. The flowering structure rises above the foliage, with a single white or greenish-white spathe, a specialized leaf associated with the flower, partially surrounding the flower structure. The spathe is elliptical or lanceolate and 4 to 12 inches long. It surrounds the spadix, the short fleshy structure that contains the male and female flower parts, which is greenish-white or cream in color, and shorter than the surrounding space. The spadix is covered in equal-sized flowers that contain both the male and female reproductive parts. All peace lily flowers on a given spadix mature at the same time and produce pollen for up to 4 days. Pollinated flowers produce ovoid fruits that mature over 4 to 6 months, each containing up to 8 seeds. Ecology and distribution. Members of the peace lily are widespread in Central America and northern South America. 2 species are found on Pacific islands, one on Cocos Island and one on Indonesia and the Philippines. They grow on the forest floors of tropical humid forests in shady, moist or wet areas along rivers and streams, in river valleys and foothills. They often grow to colonies along waterways and can be in places periodically inundated with water. The peace lily includes 59 accepted species. Cultivation and uses. Peace lily are popular houseplants due to their attractive dark foliage and contrasting white flowers, easy care, and a variety of cultivars available of different sizes. Commercially, peace lily plants are typically propagated by plant tissue culture, then potted into multi-well plastic trays, then into larger containers containing peat, pine bark, vermiculite, or cure. Plants grow best between 70 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit, or 21 to 32 degrees Celsius, or 21 to 32 degrees Celsius. Once at a size ready for sale, plants are sprayed with a gibberellic acid, which induces flowering 9 to 12 weeks after a single treatment. It lives best in shade and needs little sunlight to thrive, and is watered approximately once a week. The soil is best left moist, but only needs watering if the soil is dry. The cultivar Mauna Loa has won the Royal Horticulture Society's Award of Garden Merit. Cultural significance of the peace lily. Peace lilies hold deep cultural meaning and resonate across many traditions worldwide. Known for their serene elegance, they also captivate people with their simple beauty. Throughout history, peace lilies have been symbols of purity, peace, and spiritual awakening. Peace lily plants are also celebrated for their cultural significance, embodying qualities that transcend geography and time. The plant's graceful appearance reflects the values of tranquility and unity in various cultures. Peace lilies symbolize purity, innocence, and spiritual enlightenment in many cultures. Their white blooms also represent harmony with nature and the divine. These plants often appear in religious ceremonies, symbolizing the purity of the soul and inner peace. The combination of their lush green leaves and white flowers creates an aura of calm and spiritual reflection. Many people use them to create peaceful spaces for meditation and personal growth. Role in Eastern philosophies. In Eastern philosophies, peace lilies are associated with tranquility and serenity. In Buddhism and Taoism, the plant represents the quest for inner harmony and peace. Peace lilies are often used as offerings in temples and shrines, symbolizing the journey toward enlightenment. The plant's simple beauty reflects the philosophy of finding peace within. Its presence in spiritual spaces reinforces the values of liberation from suffering and achieving balance in life. In Western cultures, the peace lily plant is a symbol of sympathy, remembrance, and new beginnings. People use them to express condolences, celebrate weddings, and offer solace in times of loss. The purity of the peace lily makes it a meaningful gift for loved ones, symbolizing hope and harmonious reunions. Its use in weddings and funerals highlights its versatility in symbolizing life's most important traditions. The plant's symbolism also shifts between joy, love, and remembrance. Peace lily in Feng Shui. Feng Shui practitioners believe peace lilies promote positive energy flow. Plant is used to balance energy, create a peaceful and harmonious environment. According to Feng Shui principles, peace lilies purify the air and remove negative energy. By placing a peace lily in your home, you invite prosperity and good fortune. Its calming influence also helps create a space where balance and serenity live. This makes it a popular choice for enhancing well-being. Air purifying properties. In 1989, NASA's Air Clean study highlighted the peace lily's air purifying properties. The study identified the plant as one of the best for removing indoor toxins. Peace lilies improve air quality by filtering harmful pollutants such as benzene and formaldehyde. Their air purifying property makes them ideal for indoor spaces, also creating a healthier living environment. Beyond their beauty, peace lilies are valued for their practical benefits in improving overall wellness. Toxicity. Although it is called a lily, the peace lily is not a true lily from the family Liliaceae. True lilies are highly toxic to cats and dogs, but the peace lily is only mildly toxic to humans and other animals when ingested. Like many Araceae, it contains calcium oxalate crystals, which can cause skin irritation, a burning sensation in the mouth, difficulty swallowing, and nausea. But it does not contain the toxins found in true lilies, which can cause acute kidney failure in cats and some other animals. Diseases. Infection of peace lilies with Botrytis cinerea was first documented in Tokyo, Japan from 1989 to 1994. Myrothecium ruridum has also been used to harden in vitro cultures of the plant. Alternaria alternata leaf rot was documented in peace lilies in Argentina in 2008. History. Heinrich Wilhelm Scott formally described the genus Spathiphyllum, literally leaf spathe, in his and Stephen Endlicher's 1832 book, LEGO Botanicals. It encompassed 2 species. Examinations of similar specimens by others resulted in a new genera, Frederick Liebmann's Hypnostation in 1849, and Carl Koch's Massawia in 1852. Scott redefined Spathiphyllum in 1853, moving into new genus Urospatha and claiming Massawia and Hypnotion to be more appropriately Spathiphyllum. Just 5 years later, Scott's book expanded the Spathiphyllum to 22 species. From there, the genus remained relatively stable. Collections that included type specimens of many Spathiphyllum were destroyed by fire in Vienna and by war in Berlin. George S. Bunting revised the genus as his PhD thesis work in 1960, encompassing a total of 36 species. During the historic Apollo 11 mission in 1969, astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin carried peace lily plant seeds to the moon. This symbolic gesture commemorated the mission's peaceful intentions and honored humanity's spirit of exploration. However, the seeds were not planted on the moon. Instead, they represented universal aspirations for unity and harmony. The peace lilies were a reminder that the mission's success was a step toward peaceful collaboration among nations, also highlighting global harmony. Strange Horticulture. Strange Horticulture is a 2022 video game by British independent developer Brad Viking, published by Iceberg Interactive for Windows, Nintendo Switch, Mac OS, and Xbox One. Described as an occult puzzle game, Strange horticulture involves the discovery and identification of a fictitious herbarium of plants. Herbarium. Strange horticulture involves the mysterious. No, I just said that wrong. Strange horticulture involves the discovery and identification of a fictitious herbarium of plants for sale to a range of mysterious and unscrupulous customers. Gameplay involves the completion of puzzles by matching the details of customer requests of plants. Gameplay involves the completion of puzzles by matching the details of customer requests of plants to their descriptions, opening up access to more plants and identifying more information. Released in January 2022, Strange Horticulture received praise from critics, with particular praise directed toward its immersive and intimate gameplay and the design and tone of its setting. The game appeared on several year-end lists as one of the best games of the year and got nominated for the Excellence in Design Award at the 2022 Independent Games Festival. A standalone sequel, Strange Antiquities, was released for Windows and Nintendo Switch September 17, 2025. Plot: in the small town of Undermire, the player inherits from their late uncle a store named Strange Horticulture, renowned for selling to customers botanic remedies carrying mystical and occasionally dangerous effects. Members of the town visit the store to seek plants to use for their own ends, including Bethany Coleman, a member of a nature-worshipping sisterhood in the nearby woods. The Arduina, whose matron has died, Reuben Ward, a officer investigating the murder, Ennis Aylford, a hermit from a mysterious cult known as the Seeds of Redemption, seeking to summon a creature called the Woken Dendru, and Forrest Vare, a hunter bent on sabotaging the hermit's plans. How the player chooses to assist or hinder characters through the plants they provide them influences the branching storyline, which ultimately determines the fate of the characters in the game. Gameplay: Players organize and classify an unidentified collection of plants to complete puzzles based on requests made by customers to the store. To assist in identification, players have access to the Strange Book of Plants, an incomplete guide to the horticulture in the game that partially identifies plants by characteristics such as the scent, shape of the leaves and petals, and remedial properties. Successfully providing a customer with the correct plant allows the player to unlock further pages in the book, opening up further opportunities to identify and use plants in the game. Some requests possess multiple options to provide characters with plants that carry different effects, providing players with choices that will influence later events in the game. Players are also able to discover new plants and progress the story by exploring locations on a grid-based map. To do so, players accumulate the will to explore by completing customer requests and watering the plants. Players decode clues to discover the location of new plants or events, such as finding coordinates from the descriptions of locations on the map. A labeling system also assists the players to provide notes in certain plants for the future reference. In later stages of the game, the player is also able to engage in alchemy, creating elixirs and antidotes by combining the properties of several plants. Development: Strange Horticulture. Whoopsies. Okay. Strange Horticulture was developed by developer Rob Duncan and the artist John Duncan, brothers based in the UK, who previously developed Flash games from 2009 and founded Bad Viking in 2011 to develop larger projects. Development of Strange Horticulture was inspired by the idea of pairing witchcraft meets gardening, which the brothers expanded upon through influences including Terry Breverton's botany book, Complete Herbal, to develop ideas for the design of the plants in the game. The brothers approached the design of the game by having plants be the way. The player interacts with the game world. With plants that we designed gameplay elements around and gameplay elements that prompted the question, how can we use this plant here? The design of the game world was inspired by the brothers' experience visiting fells in the Lake District of the United Kingdom, which they used to build the setting of Undermire and the surrounding area. The brothers were also encouraged to develop an in-game map of the world based on their experiences with board games, including the 1981 game book Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective and Gloomhaven, stating the inspiration came from legacy games, where you open the box and there's lots of boxes inside that you're not allowed to open, so you're just like, what do they do? What does this envelope do? The game was released in 2022 for Windows on January 21st, for Nintendo Switch on July 28th, and for Mac OS on November 22nd. Reception. Critical reception of Strange Horticulture was positive, with review aggregator Metacritic indicating the game received generally favorable reviews, with an average score of 83 out of 100. Many critics praised the gameplay of Strange Horticulture, in particular its encouragement of immersive and tactile interaction with the game world. Writing for Polygon, Nicole Carpenter praised the active sense of organization and the tactile feel of research and plant care, stating it's so easy to become engrossed in this world. Alice Bell of Rock Paper Shotgun noted the game is so immersive and fun to try and fully inhabit being that weird plant enthusiast in the grotty old plant shop, praising the game as quiet, meticulous, delightful, dark, and beguiling. Edge praised the transformative quality of the game, noting the tactile interface and effective sound design, which generates a powerful sense of place. Reviewers of Strange Horticulture were mixed on the merits of the slow pace of the gameplay. Elise Stanley stated in the Washington Post that the gameplay itself is stocking shelves, chatting with customers, watering plants, and so on, is tedious, but it's the kind of tedium that is easy to get lost in as you vibe along with the serene but slightly spooky atmosphere. Heidi Hawes of Way Too Many Games stated even with all the creepy mysteries to unearth, the vast majority of the game itself is simply not that interesting. The score is one somber melody played on a non-stop loop, compounding the feeling of monotony after a while. Writing for game critics, Demonio Gurley stated the gameplay loop could have used some more finesse, noting players will either find it quite relaxing or intensely boring, depending on one's tolerance for slow-paced puzzles. Strange Horticulture appeared in many publications' year-ends lists as one of the best games of 2022, including Polygon, Rock Paper Shotgun, and PC Gamer, who named the game as the best puzzle game of the year. Strange Horticulture was also nominated for an Excellence in Design award at the 2022 Independence Games Festival. I grew up in a house full of plants, as my mother had always had a green thumb. She still has a pair of Peace Lily plants that she received as gifts over 25 years ago. I'm not particularly keen on the decorative pot that is part of this initial build, but there is a QR code in the instructions to customize the pot, so I'll have to check that out. I played the demo version of the game and found it quite enjoyable. I was intrigued by the strange plants and dark setting, and I would love to find the time to play the full game. Build time today, 57 minutes, 25 seconds. Which means you could watch the first episode and 15 minutes of the second episode in the TV miniseries War and Peace. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Remember to like, subscribe, share, ring that bell, all the things for the YouTubes. Thank you.